are live. This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto or financial markets, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, hit the like button. You may be wondering, hey, Bill, what's up with the close, or what's up with the live stream at the close of the equity market? Well, today, after Tesla's dive, we decided to try going on the equity market close. Also, we were lucky enough to be able to catch the big news in crypto, which is SBF pleads not guilty. Surprising? No. Smart? Probably. Despicable? Of course. Of course. But we're going to take it all down and tear it all apart. This includes the Tesla chart. Here's another question for you to ponder. Tesla or Ethereum? Which is the better buy? Is Tesla in a bull market or in a bear market? What does the Gann work say about Tesla? So if you want Tesla work and you want to know how Tesla possibly connects to crypto, don't go anywhere. Stay right here. Speaking of staying right here, let's see everybody coming in. Appreciate everybody piling in here. We have Bull Runner, Lawn Shark, Driftless. We have JB from Southern California. Welcome. Driftless is up there in the frozen tundra. Crypto at 2 a.m. is here. No matter what time it is. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Top Semper Fidelis is here. And the sports hobbyist. Welcome to our show. Crypto Pump. What up? Exactly. What up? Is anything up? And is anything in the stock market ever going back up in our lifetime? Okay, let's start with the news. Again, if you're looking for TA on Tesla, hidden pivot, Gann, okay, both of them on the same chart at the same time. Don't go anywhere. Now, let me not get the horn and remember to share screen as we go through some news. Sam Bankman-Fried pleads not guilty to federal fraud charges in New York. So the trial's in October, and SBF gets 9 months to do what? Leak out all the politicians. So I saw, wow, not guilty. That's surprising. Is it? Right? In other words, if everybody wants to take down SBF, that's the prosecutors and everybody who worked for him is going to roll over on him, etc. That's already happened. The question is, who is SBF going to take down? And he's got 9 months of the rumor mill. And then when the trial starts, he's got another forum for the rumor mill to get all the people who probably want him silenced, which is probably everybody inside the government, right? Because this guy was either giving money to people, okay, so he could, buy half an island, or he could have crypto get molded his way. Now, this is also an excellent thing for crypto. You're like, what did he just say? Like, yeah, this is an excellent thing for crypto because we will be reminded during these periods like today that the bad parts of crypto were the centralized parts. Everyone's like, oh my God, Uniswap is bad. Booga booga. No. The bad parts of crypto, or the things that hurt crypto, were the centralized entities. They almost took down the whole ecosystem. I did Crypto Love Show today. That'll be coming out tomorrow. The extent of the revulsion in crypto is so extreme. January's got to be a constructive month. Maybe the only thing that was left was to get the Tesla nuke out of the way. More on that in a minute. Okay. U.S. regulators are warning that banks should be more careful about the risks of fraud, legal uncertainty, and misleading disclosures by crypto firms. There it is. Now you know that all the talk that we've been doing about somebody borrowing at what's called the discount window, which actually used to be a window that you would go to at the New York Fed, but is a lending facility, was and is a lending facility where banks who are in trouble go to get loans from the Fed. And lo and behold, there's been the biggest uptick in those loans since 2020. So we know who's at the window. There's got to be banks in trouble because of what happened with FTX. And as I said earlier on both this platform and others, somebody had to know, right, about SBF's money, about his personal finances, about the bank he used, his company used. They have to know their customer. The fact that, oh, wow, we did business with somebody who was a fraud. No, that's not how it works in legacy. You got to know what your customers are doing. And you can't have fraud at that scale without somebody being responsible. So you're like, Bill, are you saying that people who were against the decentralized world of crypto are about to be embarrassed, and the legacy banking system is about to get another, as if there could be any more in legacy and fiat? Think about it. Michael Burry from The Big Short. Inflation has peaked, but it is not the last peak of this cycle. We're likely to see inflation lower, okay, by the second half of 2023. In other words, the Fed is done tightening. Okay, that other tweet about a problem with the banking system tells you the Fed is done tightening. Ironically, everybody in stocks was too busy selling today to figure any of this out. Meanwhile, crypto was unchanged and hanging tough. Okay. The U.S. will be in a recession by any definition. The Fed will cut rates and the government will stimulate. And then he says we'll have another inflation spike. That's going to be because of commodity prices: wheat, cattle, gold, silver, and water. World's largest man-made dam has less than 1% of usable water. What does that have to do with crypto? Stay on this channel. Don't go anywhere. Subscribe, and I will tell you. Tesla, let's get to it. All right, I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint first. And then I'm going to explain to you how I did all this. Okay, here comes the PowerPoint. Okay, not investment advice. Let's talk about the Tesla chart. So over here on the left, you can see Tesla has returned to where the whole QE-based rally started from in August of 2020. So the entire Tesla bubble from COVID has mostly been unwound. Not all of it, but, you know, a solid chunk of it. There are two support levels that matter just going off the launch point from August of 2020. The top of the range is like, I don't know, it's like 106. And the bottom of the range is 96, 97. Now, I ran this through a Gann calculation. I did two calculations. I said, assume Tesla is still in a bull market. And I did a calculation that says, let me know, like, give me the support, give me the levels if Tesla is in a bear market. So I want levels for bulls and bears and see if there's any overlap. Okay. And what comes on the Gann chart is 105 and 106. 105 and 106 come from bullish and bearish. Specifically, the bearish chart, the bearish Gann calculation came up with 106. Okay. 105 showed up in the bullish Gann structure. In order for Tesla to do better, it's not marked on the chart, but it's probably got to get in order for Tesla to do better, it's probably got to get above 109. Now, what does this have to do with crypto? A lot. Because if today was a capitulation in Tesla and in equities, this sets up crypto to be the first risk asset to do better in January. The alternative hypothesis is that crypto's the idea of crypto being bullish is crypto just sits here while equities fall apart. I'm going to prefer to think positive on crypto. Now, in terms of a debacle, I think if Tesla goes to 96, right, it would have to completely fall apart. But if it goes to 96 and accelerates down, okay, then you know it's over. You know it's over at that point. So 105, 106 comes from GAN. Now let's go back to the chart. Okay, let's go back to the chart and do live TA. So it's like a bonus almost. Okay, now, okay, we're going to do some hidden pivot analysis. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here at the top. I'm going to say, okay, there was a top and there was a rally. Okay. And lo and behold, just doing hidden pivot analysis, $106.62 should have been it. Okay. It didn't get to the exact low. The exact low was actually below 105. But Tesla came back and closed above 106.62. And this is a very, very big hidden pivot structure, which was pretty hard to trade. Okay. But that could have been it in Tesla. That could have been it. Right. In other words, if we go to DeMark on Tesla, so this is Tesla 90 minutes. Okay. So, you know, there are 13 and 9 bottoms, which, as we noted, have not worked in the past. Okay. The 90-minute chart shows that puke this morning to be a 13 bottom. You have not gotten confirmation yet, but a little thing in the footnote of DeMark, when you get this big 13 signal, which, to make a long story short, is a signal that a trend may be coming to an end. When you get a 13 and then it's maybe starts going the other direction, it keeps going lower, but it reverses right around the 4. That can sometimes be very constructive. Okay, let's go to a 4-hour chart of Tesla. Okay, and again, this seems a lot cleaner to me, right? The 13 bottom was actually on the 27th. It tried to go up, and you had the 5-wave selling climax, and the support on the DeMark chart was at 100. So DeMark had support at 100. GAN had 105. Hidden pivot had 105. Okay. Guessing people might be wanting to buy Tesla at 100. And if there was no bid at 100, it would probably be the stop fishing exercise of all time. Just wondering whether or not that was it in Tesla. Right. Now, unfortunately, the DeMark work on the daily chart is still awful. You could have 4 more down days before you have a 13 bottom on the daily chart, which again, you know, you're like, why is he bringing up 96? That's why. That's why. And my guess is if this craters, then everything craters. But down 20%, I don't know, on panic selling, tax loss selling, whatever, I think I'm inclined to be more constructive risk assets or more constructive crypto, right? Speaking of that, we've got Rochi Dave is here, Crypto Predator from Eastern Europe, Romania. Hello, Block Connect, right? Arafat is here. Sinister Kloss, Ace Crypto from Kuwait, Middle East, checking in. All right, let's take it over. Let's take it over to crypto and see what we got. Okay, we're doing this live TA style today. Okay. Now, while I wait for that to come up, you know, yesterday we talked about Solana And one of the things I talked about with Crypto Love, he's like, you know, how do you know what's going to be a good trade this year? And what I told him was, well, you just find the things that no one owns or that everyone gave up on. In Solana, we had hidden pivot levels around 9. That was from 2 videos ago. And then the next thing you know, you're at 14. And if you had bought it below 10 in single digits when everyone was declaring it was dead, you've now got some room to see if it holds. It's probably going to retrace. But again, what's better? A layer 1, Web 3? Okay, let's look at Galaxy Digital. Galaxy Digital up on the day. Okay, with stocks down. Interesting, right? I think so. You know, if you look at Ethereum, let's go look at Ethereum on DeMark. Actually, you know what? Let's get wild and let's go look at Solana on DeMark. Because again, like yesterday, we looked at Gala and everyone's like, oh, you know, can you look at this? And I'm like, all right, you know, is it dead or is it not dead? Gala did not look dead. Gala looked like a bottom. Okay, so Solana daily, there was your 13 bottom at 13. There's your FTX capitulation. So you get the 9 signal. Okay. It nicely broke above resistance at 12.29. So if it returns back down there, that may be what holds. Okay. Or maybe it just goes, right? Everybody kind of gave up on this. And if you look, if you take the Elliott wave off of this, just for laughs, right? Sometimes a market can retrace, like after a 5-wave decline, it can retrace back up to the previous 4th. So this give up trade in Solana that started at 45 in August and ended at $8. In Elliott wave terms, the give up trade usually gets unwound, even if it's still a bear market. So can you imagine Solana going back to 45? I mean, is anybody on YouTube or in social media, including me, brave enough to say Solana can go to 45? I'll do it this way. Sushi Nori, what's up? How you doing? Block Connect is here. Okay, liking the content. Okay. Sinister Klaus is here. Sinter Klaus is here from the gym. Welcome. Always like to see people streaming from the gym, from UPS trucks, if you're out there. Appreciate you checking us out. So here's a question on Solana. What if Solana goes to 45? Where does that put Ethereum? Hell, where would that put Bitcoin? Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine a full-on alt season with all this stuff that nobody owns? Like, for example, if there's a crypto hedge fund out here that bought Solana at 10, that crypto hedge fund is already outperforming all of its peers. It's already outperforming its peers. So if Solana's up tomorrow, guess what? The chase is on. This is Ethereum on a daily chart. Okay. Unfortunately, there's not much to say about Ethereum. And it's funny that there's a lot of room in Ethereum all the way up to 1275. If you look at this work, you know, if you take it down to a 4-hour chart, take it down to a 4-hour chart, 12 hours from now, you might have a 9 bottom, because that seems to be the way Ethereum's working these days. And this is how DeMark works in a range. So, you know, you count a certain set of conditions down, 1 through 9, bottom. Go up to the top of the range, 1 through 9, top. And then if they're buying the dip, you may see another 9 bottom when you wake up in the morning US time. Okay. So, Crypto Clubhouse, what is the news for today? The news for today is that people may be pouring dirt over Elon Musk and Tesla. That may not be smart. 106 may be support in Tesla. 105, 106. SBF pleaded not guilty today, which makes every regulator and politician sitting there wondering when the media is going to find them out, now or later. The decentralized crypto world, in other words, Ethereum. I don't know. It's got to be Ethereum. Okay. Or it could be Cardano. Honestly, I don't care as long as there's a winner in the decentralized crypto universe. Okay. You know, Cardano on a 90-minute chart would have loved to have seen it above 25 cents. It ran into a 13 top. This is tactical. Okay. The next big drop in Cardano on a 4-hour chart could wind up being a 13 bottom. That would be really interesting. So I saw a BitBoy on his, sort of whiteboard portfolio moving money from BNB to Cardano at 25 cents. And, it's not investment advice, but, this is pretty close to its low, right? Like people gave up and gave up on this. Like Solana is trading like everyone is out. And the key going forward is to find the things where everyone is out. Today, those things could be Tesla. D Jack here from Kansas. Bubba Smith, good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome. Sushi Nori is also here. Hello. Okay. Gold, not that anyone's noticing, is up on the day again. It's green, and, there's resistance up here. And gold has unwound its give-up trade. And the question is it going to take out 1887 on its way to the Head and Shoulders bottom target of 1974? So it's a question of time before the bottom pickers in the dollar have to rethink what they're doing. Commodities will be key. Water will be one of the biggest from GAN work. Okay. So stay focused on gold. Okay. The answer to Ace's question is yes. Yes, because of this, because of BARC and water. The amount of research that I'm going to be doing about water and gold as commodities, it's going to be a powerful thesis long-term, and because of the possibility of a drought short-term. The next cycle of commodities on the blockchain starts now. Now, that said, if you've got an altcoin position and it's not working out and you're not comfortable with the risk, you've got to manage your own risk. But when it comes to water, I personally tripled my position. If you want to know more about that, we can leave a comment and we can maybe do a video on it. Okay, let's take a look at VIX. Okay, Brick Dreams giving me a hat tip for the TA. You're welcome. I'm only too happy to do it. Love having my own channel. It's great getting up in the morning and being in control of my own destiny, me and my producer. All right. So VIX, Bollinger Bands are the best way to look at VIX, I think. So let's just bring those Bollinger Bands in so you can see them. Okay. Equities normally bottom when VIX tops, and frequently if VIX gets through the top of its Bollinger Band and then comes back in, that's it. So it looks like the fear today was not about S&P. Okay. Volatility, fear didn't really go higher, kind of went up and came back down. It looks like it was all about tax loss selling in Tesla. In Tesla. Now let's, for laughs, let's pull Tesla back up with the Bollinger Band. Okay. And this in a way is almost the opposite of what you get in Bitcoin, right? In Bitcoin, we go, well, you know, these Bollinger Bands are so tight, right, that it's got to move. With Tesla, like, could the width of the Bollinger Bands get any higher? If you look at this line down here at the bottom, this is Bollinger Band width right here. It's like, gee, has the Bollinger Band ever been that wide? Not in recent memory. Not since the gap on the way up back in October. So not since the Bitcoin moonshot to 60K has Tesla been this volatile. So super volatile at the top, super volatile at a selling climax. Now, what does Tesla have to do with crypto? Let's talk about that. Okay. Tesla is in many ways the ultimate risk asset, right? It's like the Bitcoin of the stock market. When, you know, if Tesla catches a cold, the equity market gets the flu. Now, in this case, Tesla got wiped out, but the equity market actually held its ground. And for crypto held its ground. Like, can you imagine last year during the SBF debacle, if there had been a 30% down move in Tesla while all that was happening? I mean, crypto would have blown up and gone to zero, right? It would have. I mean, Tesla went down 20, 30%. It gets completely nuked. And the Bitcoin weekly candle, you can't even see what's happening. Nothing is happening. Now, sometimes nothing happening in crypto is bad. Back in 2018, which I can show you on this chart, I believe. Okay. Back in 2018, here was Bitcoin doing nothing in the fourth quarter. Okay. And then Bitcoin just caved. Now, is that going to happen in January? I don't think so. I don't think so, because believe it or not, I think Solana and some of these altcoins are telling you that the stuff that everybody gave up on could do well. Now, could this happen in Bitcoin in March if somebody has to liquidate Bitcoin, say in the legacy world? Yeah, but that's later. That ironically is Bitcoin's problem for now, right? Like, if Bitcoin doesn't move, I don't think it means the whole market can't move. Let's go to something I was showing yesterday. Let's go back to total 3. Now, total 3, this is total crypto market cap without Bitcoin or Ethereum. Interesting that you would have a big negative day in risk assets and total 3 wound up unchanged for the day. That to me seems interesting, right? That seems interesting. In other words, every day that something negative happens and crypto doesn't blow up leads to the possibility of a turn, and nobody is talking about what's going on with Solana, right? You know, the focus is on the Tesla dump, but the thing I like the most is the fact that, you know, they gave up Solana for dead, and now it's back. Now, speaking of dead, this is an idea that I got killed in, right? Because Elon did not embrace crypto. Well, there's almost no point in doing that now, or maybe not. Maybe Elon let everybody get the selling out of their system. Hopefully, for his sake, he's got some sort of trick up his sleeve. Okay. Part of me thinks that there should be a big move in Dogecoin, right? For the sake of crypto, I hope that they can get through this resistance point if they could. I just cannot believe that when he took over Twitter, he obviously alienated a lot of people that had, I don't know, pro-administration, pro-vaccine, pro-blue, left-wing thinking, right? He alienated all those people. But now, you can say, well, he was just telling the truth. It doesn't matter. Those people were not happy, and they were the ones buying his cars. So, and they were the ones that owned the stock. Or let me say it this way. They weren't the only ones who owned the stock. They were the ones who were like married to the stock. And then there was a divorce from that group. And that's who's probably dumping Tesla and doesn't care. Okay. Now, if that was going to happen, which, you know, it's hard to believe you wouldn't anticipate that, it would make sense to bring in a whole new different crowd to Tesla, right? And wouldn't that be Doge or Twitter coin, right? I actually think, you know, now that he didn't embrace Doge, which kind of pissed me off, what about Twitter coin or Twitter going public as a security token? Right? In other words, everyone's like, oh my God, Tesla's down. That's the story. No, it's not. The question is has Elon got another trick up his sleeve? You know, remember how he bought Twitter, then he unbought it, then he bought it? You know, I wonder if he just let the stock crash. He told his employees, don't worry about it. So he's either in denial and Tesla's going to 97, or there's going to be a shoe drop for him to try to cover, because Elon's got a lot of experience fighting short sellers. He had to do it during 2017, 2018. Okay. Let's go back. And I was actually working in the brokerage industry when this guy was like trying to fend off every hedge fund in the world who wanted to short Tesla because it was an overvalued company that didn't have earnings and hadn't delivered cars yet. Okay. Hard to forget Tesla getting hammered, losing half of its value from 25 to 12, different prices at those times because of the stock split, but you get the idea. This thing went straight down and then straight up. Now, this is not the bull case for Tesla, but Tesla has made a V bottom in the past, right? Like this was the COVID V bottom. And I don't know. I'm not a stock guy, so I don't know that I care because that's not my primary industry, although I do care because I think talking about Tesla and S&P are going to be a key component for crypto this year. This whole idea, going back to this tweet, okay, inflation has peaked. This is from The Big Short. The U.S. is in a recession by any definition. The Fed's got to know that. So Wall Street is like rates higher for longer, and the guy with The Big Short is like, we're in a recession and inflation has peaked. Who do you want to believe? Wall Street Research or this guy? I can tell you where I am. Back to Tesla. Okay. So there's your straight down move. And the question is, does Elon have a counterpunch? Yeah, Elon's got a counterpunch. It's called Web3. I noticed Polkadot up today. How is Elon going to distract people's attention? And how is Elon going to start creating value? How about that for something new? How is Elon Musk going to create value for Tesla shareholders? He's got to do something in Web3. So here's Polkadot Daily. This seems pretty straightforward, huh? Polkadot's at a trend line. And Polkadot is either going to take out that trend line Or we're going to wake up in the morning and see crypto following Tesla. No one is talking about Web3. No one is talking about nobody's talking about Polkadot. Moon Sector 7 wants to get me to 1.2K followers. I would love that. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Where can you get content like this on YouTube? I don't know. You tell me with the like button. We have news analysis. Okay. We have DeMark. Okay. This is DeMark. Okay. When trends reverse, that's what DeMark is good for. We have GAN. Okay. We have charts drawn by hand on the YouTube channel. We have the take on SBF. We beat the world to the punch on the idea that this guy was going to roll over on regulators. I think it's still underreported. It's still not talked about enough. SBF and FTX are bullish for crypto in my mind. Yes, someone is going to have to liquidate collateral at some point. We are not at that point. We're not. We're at the max fear point. And for the channel, commodities. Commodities on the blockchain. How sexy is that? Right now, it's not sexy. How sexy is it going to be when everybody discovers it? Forget about it. Right? Did anybody see NFTs coming? No. Did anybody believe that DeFi was the real deal in 2020? No. Okay. Shortages, commodities, supply chain, etc. on this channel. Okay. Brick Dream says, I will not ignore geopolitics. Okay. Up to 200,000 polls to be called up for military training this year. We cover this on this show, and I appreciate Brick Dreams for bringing that up. Appreciate that. Okay, language trainer, we hear you. Yes. Silver, water, gold. We are going to talk about it a lot. Dedicated videos. Back to geopolitics. People are suffering to such a degree in the war in Ukraine. Ukraine civilians, it goes without saying. Russian soldiers, you know, you can say what you want to say about the government. I'm Ukrainian, but his soldiers, I mean, it's their Vietnam. You know, the average lifespan of a young lieutenant in Vietnam was 13 seconds on the battlefield. And it feels like the same thing is happening to the Russians. Right? No one wants to capitulate. No one's winning, and everyone's dying. Yeah, that's war. But this affects grains. This affects commodities. There could be a horrible winter anywhere on planet Earth, especially over there. And someone's got to get to the negotiating table, but they don't want to get to the negotiating table. So Brick Dreams is right. I didn't have it front and center today, but don't worry. There will be days where geopolitics will be front and center. Why? Because the only way anybody gets to the negotiating table is with a decisive shot, like a UFC fight, right? Right now, it's a war of attrition. 200,000 Poles being called up for military service. Why? What are they afraid of? Well, they're probably afraid of a really angry Vladimir Putin and him doing something crazy. Crazy. Right? So that situation may end in 2023, but it may end with a shocking bang. One thing you have to remember about the early parts of a year is recency bias. Everybody goes, oh, this year will be just like last year. No, it won't be. It never is. If last year the war in Ukraine was this sort of like, you know, first it was a show on CNN, and then, you know, that human toll just kicked in. And the commodity reality created inflation. Inflation in commodity prices may come from other things like weather related, but it may also come from that war getting really hot. Otherwise, why would 200,000 Poles being called into military service. From a Cold War to a hot war to a big bang. And somebody's going to tell me there's no case for gold, right? There is a case for gold, okay? There is. There absolutely is. Language Trainer is here. So if you look at commodities, which we've talked about, if you look at the things that no one owns, which we've talked about, in other words, I didn't have time to develop the thought, but Crypto Love, who's going to be posting like a collab on his channel tomorrow, was like, how are we supposed to find the next 10x? How are we supposed to find the next 100x? Well, you got to find the thing that no one owns, everyone hates, or no one understands. DeFi was about the thing no one understood, right? Interoperability, layer 2s. Remember that? MATIC, no one understood that. A couple of people did, right? Layer 1s, the ETH killers. First, no one thought it was true. Then they skyrocketed in value and became blue chips just because they went up. They crashed and it was over. And then everybody forgot about Web3. Now, are all these things going to win? Is Solana going back to 200? No. But has anyone used their imagination and thought, what does the world look like with Solana at 45? Okay. Gold Mining Stocks GDXJ. If anybody is still sticking around, I can take a look at some altcoins. The altcoins of the gold market ran into resistance today, but I'm looking at the screen and gold stocks were up 3% today, even with CRB and commodities down 2%. Okay. In commodities, I got to think dips are intriguing as a buy. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. We spoke about MATIC. There were requests on it yesterday. So if you go to an 89-minute chart of MATIC, what do you get? Well, how about we think about it this way? So the next key level for MATIC is 78 cents. If MATIC can get above 78 cents, MATIC can go to 81 cents. Now, there's a guy on Twitter who is after this thing like nobody's business. So if MATIC fails, I don't know. This thing may be the sort of poster child for the thing that the coin everyone's picking on. Okay. Well, Runner encouraging you to hit the like button, and Driftless like the UFC analogy. Okay. Let's jump over to here. Do my eyes deceive me, or is Litecoin up again? Yesterday, we talked about Litecoin and Zcash having a bad reputation. Okay. Not that we don't like Litecoin and Zcash, because I like both. Right. I had to stop talking about Litecoin because it got hammered so bad. But if you look at this, okay, let me start that over again. If you look at the nature of the downtrend in Litecoin, okay, this is the Litecoin daily chart. Litecoin has done nothing since May of last year. This could be the bigger the base, the higher in the space. And I think every day that goes by, that Litecoin can actually hang in there and the market doesn't dump when Litecoin goes up. Now, every time Litecoin and Zcash would go up, the market would fall in a bit. Driftless is asking, what if Litecoin goes to 160? Okay, well, let's talk about that. Okay, right now, Litecoin on this Fibonacci speed resistance line is doing like a perfect bump and run off 59, and the next resistance is at 106. So your resistance levels in Litecoin are probably 106. And maybe if there was a big rally in April, or there was sort of a bottom in March and crypto took off again, I could see 145. Now, your alternative is Litecoin up, market down. That's boring, right? It's boring. What happened last year doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this year. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It doesn't have to be the same. Okay? Don't laugh. MicroStrategy managed a bid today. Actually, I can't resist. Let's get over here and let's see what's going on in MicroStrategy. Because, you know, I used to think last year, like last year in March at this time, and it wasn't just me, it was, I got help with this from like literally the smartest guy. I don't know. He's the smartest guy I know, and I know some smart people. This guy could be one of the smartest people ever. Okay. He was wondering if the final blow up in crypto in November was going to be Sailor. Now, it turned out it was FTX. Interesting. We have a 9 bottom in MicroStrategy, and it's a 5-wave bottom. That's the daily chart. The weekly chart, there's support at 144, where there's the 13 bottom. Last 13 bottom in MicroStrategy gave you a move from 144 to 350. Is anybody talking about MicroStrategy going from 150 to 300? No. And they should be, because again, equities got completely hammered today. Even the Bitcoin miners were down, right? But MicroStrategy and Galaxy Digital had a bid. No one's looking at that. I think they should be. I mean, let's just take a look at QNT. Let's pull QNT up over here. QNT was trending on Twitter at the end of last year. And I'm wondering if it was trending last year because it was the only thing going up. Now I wonder that everyone has sort of not looking at it, whether or not it's time to look at it. So QNT on the 4-hour chart, okay, I guess this was the moon at the end of December that pulled everybody in, and then they all got dropped. Kind of a nasty pump and dump. Okay, let me see if there's anything on the weekly. Okay, so not much there in QNT. Okay, I'm not sure what happened or why, but I do know that Solana is up 20%. You know, it's running into resistance, but you made a lot of money in Solana. Driftless says, what if Putin tries to use Litecoin to settle oil contracts or another decentralized crypto? Okay, good question. How long is it going to take before somebody goes around the fiat dollar system? Okay, so let me take this off and just go to straight monologue. How long is it going to take for that to happen? Well, my guess is it's already happening. I don't think you can see any government up at the podium and go, you know what? We've lost confidence in our currency. Therefore, we're going to start using whatever. I think you can actually follow Mr. Market here. Solana, no one owns it. Litecoin and Zcash, every day those coins are up and the market doesn't turn around and dump means something is changing. What's something? Well, Driftless is using his imagination. Bull Runner is telling you to hit the like button. Hammer away. In research, you get paid for imagination. You get paid to imagine that there might be a top in the DXY at 111, And yesterday's stream, we talked about a chart structure for a longer term move to 90. Again, back to the guy from The Big Short, right? We're already in a recession. There's a short video on my YouTube channel that I shot in front of Best Buy. I went in to pick up a tripod to take pictures for Instagram, and the store was empty, like literally empty. It was like me, my friend, and the employees. Now, yeah, it was maybe New Year's Day. Everyone's home eating chicken a la king and watching football, American football. I get it. It was empty. And there were certain parts of the shelves that were empty. The store wasn't restocked. And you have to be asking yourself about the supply chain and about whether or not retailers are going to restock, given that the consumer, based on credit card data, kind of just, is out of ammo. Okay. Lord Junta is here. Happy New Year to you. Okay. And how do you make it a happy New Year? You take care of yourself. Okay. And if you have to come to the channel or come to Twitter to hear a friendly voice, well, maybe we need a crypto therapy friendly voice session or section of the live stream. So this is your friendly voice. This is the market update. Today, we had Tesla, Solana, and Sam Bankman-Fried, and nobody realizes that corruption in the centralized component of crypto is bullish for the decentralized portion of crypto, which is pretty much every part of crypto, right? Everyone's all down on Bitcoin, right? The decentralized currency. So that's it for today, folks. This is the market update. We will see you next time.